shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my moto vlogs.
What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Chris out on the Gold Wing, out on the 2016 Honda Gold Wing. And today I decided to get the bike out. It's a good day for a ride. I'm showing a current temperature of about 61 degrees on the air temp. Now the weatherman actually called for 60 degrees, but right now I'm showing 61 on the air temp. So the weatherman got it right today. It's a good day for a ride. I decided to get the bike out to test out my Fobo 2 tire pressure monitoring sensors. If you guys been keeping up with my Caliente videos, I installed the Fobo 2 bike tire pressure monitoring sensors on the 2016 Honda Gold Wing, and I also installed them on the 2021 Honda Gold Wing DCT Tour model, just to supplement the current tire pressure monitoring that I already have on the new Gold Wing. So today I'm out here talking to you on my Center 50. I'm wearing my HJC I-90 helmet, and I'm wearing my one-piece thermal suit, and I'm snug like a bug in a rug. And once again, your boy Chris is not a thug. And it feels good to be out on the 2016 Honda Gold Wing. And also, I am pulling the Can-Am 622, and it pulls like a dream. So today I decided to get the 2016 Honda Gold Wing out for a test ride. Wanted to see how the Fobo tire pressure monitoring was going to perform. Now in the garage, the Fobo 2 had a very good connection. If you guys watch my last video, I showed you where if the tires are grayed out, the tire pressure sensors are disconnected from the phone. And I also talked about if the tire sensors give you the green check mark, then you are within range. So just keep that in mind. So I'm out here testing out this Fobo tire pressure monitoring sensors. I wanted to see if the tire pressure sensor was going to be able to pick up the pressure in real time and stay connected while I'm actually out on the Gold Wing. So far I have the Bluetooth on, so keep in mind that you must have the Bluetooth on in order for the Fobo 2s to connect. So I have the Bluetooth on. I'm looking at my Fobo app. As you guys can see, I'm showing the front pressure on the left, and I'm showing the rear pressure on the right. Now currently on this Gold Wing, the rear tire that I have calls for a pressure of 41. I currently do not have my Honda Gold Wing dark sided at this time. Not at this time. I will be putting back the dark side tire in the upcoming days, but right now I'm just rotating my tires out. I'm using my spare, so my spare calls for 41, and the front, which is the Bridgestone BT 45, it calls for 41. So I have the parameter set. To the left is my front tire pressure, to the right is my rear tire pressure. So right now everything looks real good, and I wanted the ability to be able to just pull up my tire pressure on my cell phone, and that's why I installed the Fobo 2 tire pressure monitoring sensors. As a matter of fact, I plan to install some on my trailer at a later date. I want to be able to see what my trailer pressure is currently at when I'm out riding the Honda Gold Wing. So right now I'm just out here cruising on the beautiful 269, just testing out the tire sensors. So I'm just doing a little test. As a matter of fact, I am going to turn off the Bluetooth, and I'm gonna try to reconnect while I'm actually riding. So I want to see if the Fobo 2s are gonna actually reconnect if I turn them off. So I'm gonna shut down the Fobo app. I'm gonna turn off the Bluetooth setting. I'm gonna turn back on the Bluetooth setting, and then I'm gonna turn back on the Fobo app, and I want to see if the Fobo app is gonna reconnect without a problem. So this would be a real world test. So I'm gonna go to my phone. I'm gonna turn off my Bluetooth setting, and I just want to see how this is actually gonna turn out. This will be the first test I've done on connectivity. So I'm gonna call this the connectivity test. I'm gonna turn off the Bluetooth. As you guys can see, my Bluetooth is off. Okay, now that I have the Bluetooth connected, let me turn back on the Fobo app, and I want to see if it's going to reconnect. There's my Fobo app. I'm going to turn it on. As you can see, the green check marks are not, they're grayed out. The green check marks are grayed out. They just popped on. Okay, I'm gonna hit the 2016 Honda Goldwing is scrolling. Let's see if it's gonna pick up. And if you look down at the bottom, I can see that it says it's been updated just now and 14 seconds ago. So yeah, the Fobo app actually reconnected when I turned off the app and when I disconnected the Bluetooth. So I'm impressed. I mean, it's actually working. You know, I've talked to a couple of people that said that they had some bad experiences with the Fobo, and you know, I'm pretty much sure that it was the previous model. You know, the model that I have now is the Fobo 2, and I'm sure that the problems that those riders were having was on the earlier model Fobo. And that's one of the things about technology. When something first comes out, you're kind of the test subject. And so I like to give things a little bit of time. I like to give them time to work out the kinks. I like to give them time to work out the bugs. I like to give research and development. You know, I like to give them time to make the necessary changes, make the necessary adjustments. Because a lot of times when these things first come out, when the product first comes out, they got to work out the bugs. And so they depend on the people that's actually buying their products to report back and let them know what problems that they're having. So that's one thing about my channel. I try to keep it real. I try to keep it honest. I try to keep it 100%. And so far, I'm actually impressed with the Fobo. One of the comments that I've read, one of the viewers were saying that with the locking nut, they don't use the locking nut. They just screw down the Fobo onto the valve stem because it's, you know, it's more of a pain or a hassle to them to put on that little locking nut. You know, they don't feel like somebody would actually steal their Fobo. Well, the thing about those locking nuts is that it keeps the tire pressure sensors secured on the valve stem. So not necessarily an anti-theft locking nut, but it keeps that Fobo tire sensor on the valve stem, because you got to think about all of those revolutions per minute that the Fobo is actually turning. So some people like the locking nut, some people don't. For me, I'm using the locking nut because I don't want to lose my Fobos. So I'm just out here cruising on the 2016 Honda Goldwing, checking out this Fobo app, and so far I'm actually impressed with it. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I can see my pressures in real time, and it's my intentions to add more Fobos a little bit later. I'm going to be adding them on my trailers, and so when I'm traveling down the highway, when I'm out on the Goldwing, or before I even leave home, I can just look at my tire pressures in real time. So, and also I can even add these things on my vehicle. I can add them on my vehicle. So I think that's a plus. I think that's excellent. So what do you guys think about the Fobo 2? Have you guys had an opportunity to install them on your bike? And if so, what's been your experience? Did you have a good experience with the Fobos? Did you have a bad experience with the Fobos? Did they work as advertised? Or did you find them not to be what you thought they was gonna be? You know, for me, at this point, I'm very satisfied. Now, keep in mind also with the Fobo, you got a little rubber gasket. So when you tighten down your Fobo, you want to make sure that the Fobo cap is tight against the little threads that sandwich the cap onto the tire pressure monitoring sensor. And then you want to take the locking nut and sandwich that against the entire Fobo, because you got two pieces turning. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because if you don't have that cap pressed against the gasket, you know, you can actually get water or you can get moisture over in there, and then that may cause corrosion, or that may cause your Fobo tire pressure monitoring sensor to fail prematurely. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. So I'm just out here cruising on the 2016 Honda Goldwing. Good day for a ride. I'm still showing 61 degrees out. It's still winter time. So what is the weather like where you live? Is it snowing? Is it cold? Is it hot? I guess if you live in the south, it's probably warmer. As a matter of fact, I think the weatherman is calling for some colder temperatures in the upcoming days. So we're still in the winter. We're not out of the woods yet, but springtime is not far away. We're talking just a few more weeks, a couple of months, depending on where you live. Springtime is just around the corner. That's an old Monte Carlo. You guys probably too young to know about that old Monte Carlo, the SS Super Sport. So for you guys that are thinking about the Fobo tire pressure monitoring sensors, one of the things that I mentioned in the video is that if you have the earlier Goldwing, let's say you have the models 01 through 2010. If you have models 01 through the 2010, I would highly recommend adding the T-valves. Add the T-valves to your wheels. And that way you can put on your Fobo tire pressure monitoring sensor, and you don't have to take it off. You can just air up the tire if it needs air with that second valve connector. So I think that T-valve is a must if you do not have if you currently do not have tire pressure monitoring from the factory on your motorcycle or on your Goldwing. Now for my 2016, if you also been keeping up with my videos, I've recently taken my Honda Goldwing to the Honda dealer, and I actually had them to disable my tire pressure monitoring light. You know, I just got tired of that light. You know, when you first buy the Goldwing, the tire pressure monitoring sensor works great, but you got to keep in mind that those sensors have batteries. So after so much time, after a few years, the batteries are going to go down on that OEM tire pressure monitoring sensor, and you're going to get the tire pressure monitoring light on your Goldwing. If you got models 2012 through 2017, the light pops on when the pressure gets below 10%, and it stays on when it actually flashes when it gets to 10%, and it stays on if it gets down to 20%. But if your battery fails in that sensor, then your tire pressure monitoring light is actually going to stay on, and that's exactly what happened to me in my case. I was getting that solid tire pressure monitoring light. So the Honda dealers gave me the option. They said we can replace those sensors under warranty, because my Goldwing is still under warranty, or we can just disable your tire pressure monitoring light altogether, and you don't have to ever worry about it again. So I elected to just disable the tire pressure monitoring light. You know, I just told them disable it, because I'm subject to put tires on my bike at any time. I don't want to have to be worried about the sensor. You know, I may not even want to go back with the OEM sensor. So I had the tire pressure monitoring light disabled. So shouts out to Jason for recommending the Phobos to me. I installed the Phobos, and I'm here to tell you that I like the way they actually turned out. I'm able to see my pressure in real time. As long as my Bluetooth is on, I should be able to see my Fobo. So I think that's a great addition for any Goldwing owner or any motorcycle owner. And they also work on cars as well. But if you want to conveniently air up the tires without taking off the Phobos, I recommend getting the T-valves. Now you can add the T-valves to the newer Goldwing, or if you already have tire pressure monitoring from the factory. The only downside to that is that you're going to lose the ability to have your OEM tire pressure monitoring sensors working, because you're going to have to take the sensor out of the tire in order to put that T-valve in. So the takeaway is that if you add the T-valve, you cannot have a wheel sensor inside of the tire. If you do not have a wheel sensor in the tire, then you cannot have the manufacturer tire pressure monitoring. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. If you add the T-valve, you're going to have to take that wheel sensor out. So for my 2016 Honda Goldwing, I may add the T-valves later because I don't need those internal sensors anyway from Honda. But on my newer Goldwing, I do not plan on adding the T-valves because the Fobo 2 is just supplementing the current tire pressure monitoring that I already have on the 2021 Honda Goldwing. So what do you guys think? What do you think so far about the Fobo 2? If you've been watching my videos, is that something that you think you might be interested in? Do you already have them? And if so, what has been your experience with the Fobo 2s up to this point? Has it been reliable? Has it failed? And how has the batteries been? You know, time will tell how long these batteries will last. One of the things I do like about the app is that it actually shows you what the battery voltage is. So it lets you know if your batteries are low, if you got a full charge. I mean, I think it's a great product. You know, Fobo hadn't sent me these. I paid for these out of my pocket, and I plan to buy more Phobos for my trailer and maybe even my vehicle. So what has been your experience with your tire pressure monitoring? If you have the OEM tire pressure monitoring, are you getting a solid light? Have your batteries died? Have they went down? Have you disabled your Honda Goldwing tire pressure monitoring light? And one other thing I want to add before I end this video, on the OEM sensors that come from Honda, once those batteries run down, you're going to have to take the tire off the wheel. Correction, you're going to have to take the wheel off the bike. You're going to have to dismount the tire off the rim just to get to the sensor. The thing I like about the Fobo 2 is that they just screw right on the valve stem. So in the event that the battery needs to be replaced on the Fobo, you just unscrew the Fobo off of the valve stem, slap a little battery in, and put back the plastic cover. I mean, it's just that simple. So basically you could change the Fobo 2 batteries in less than a minute. But on the Honda OEM sensors, you got to take the wheel off the bike, you have to take the tire off the rim, and then when you get down to the sensor, you'll notice that that battery on the sensor is actually soldered. It's soldered in. It's soldered in, and you're gonna need a heat gun. You're gonna need some soldering iron. You're gonna need some tools to get that battery out. So I think that's just a big hassle. So the takeaway from this video is that the Fobo 2s are convenient. The Fobo 2s are easy to install, and the app works great, and you can see all your pressures in real time. What do you guys think? Drop a comment down in the comment section below. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget to sign up for the Chris Caliente Facebook group, the hottest Facebook group in the land, where we talk about anything and everything, all day, every day. This is your boy Chris, out on the 2016 Honda Goldwing, just doing a test for my Fobo. Just wanted to see how it was going to perform in a real world situation, and so far they working perfectly. And I will, as always, I will talk to you guys later. See you.